We are here at Scottsdale's Code Conference, obviously. Talked to Delta's Ed Bastian yesterday, who's trying to change the nature of travel through technology, testing things like biometrics so you never have to show a piece of paper, testing RFID so you can track your bags, testing free Wi-Fi on domestic flights. He went to CES in January, and we asked him why he came to Code this week.
Well, it's an exciting time for us, Carl. We're reinventing a 94-year-old company, and we've done all the hard work. We've got our balance sheet fixed. We're generating a tremendous amount of customer goodwill and satisfaction. Financially, we're in sound position. And it's really our renaissance. We're investing heavily in technology, whether it's in aircraft, airports, digital, remaking the entire customer experience. And it's an exciting time to be.
So let's take one of those one by one. Explain to people who might not have flown through Atlanta what Terminal F is about.
Okay, well, Terminal F is our latest international concourse. We put it up a number of years ago, and we've just converted it to a full biometrics facility. So when you get out of the car, you never have to show your papers, because we use facial recognition on the way in. You can check in, you can check your bags all through facial, go through security, go through the checkpoint, board the plane, and then go off to your international destination. And when you return, you have those same opportunities.
So how easy is that? How easy is it going to be to scale, to have every customer's experience be like that?
Well, we're already rolling it out. We've got it in Detroit already, and pretty soon we'll have it throughout most of our international facilities. The next big thing for us, obviously, is the domestic TSA, and we're working with TSA on checkpoint. Anything we can do to expedite. It's not only more effective, but it's also more efficient.
Does it incorporate Clear, or is there something beyond that?
No, it's beyond Clear. It's beyond Clear. Clear we have already with PreCheck, but this is a separate technology that we've worked together with CBP on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What timeline on nationwide, domestic?
It's too early to call it domestic. We're still rolling out international, but I think they're going to be fast followers.
Okay. So it sounds like it might be a 3 to 5 year journey on this?
Hard to put a timeline on it, because it's really the government needs to own the technology. They own the actual asset. We operate with them.
Any pitfalls that we need to be aware of going into something like that, a chapter like that?
No, I think everyone is sensitive about facial. And certainly with privacy being top of the list for technology companies wide scale, facial recognition falls into that. Facial for this with the CBP, though, we never actually retain that image. That's all through the government. The government obviously has facial recognition already, because when you go through a normal passport screening, they're already matching it against the facial figure.
You're using RFID to track bags.
We are, system-wide.
You're testing free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Are you trying to elevate your customer's experience beyond the industries, and then in turn garner a valuation that is not an industry valuation?
Well, we look at our company as more than just a transportation company. We're a consumer company. We'll carry 200 million customers this year. And as part of that, we're bringing the new consumer technologies, keeping our customers connected wherever they are in the world. So Wi-Fi, for example, has always been a frustration for our customers, staying connected with poor speeds and inconsistent quality or even lack of availability. We're committed to getting to a point where Wi-Fi is as accessible and capable on our planes as it is in your living room, and it's at the same price point, which is free.
I keep thinking back to a few years ago when you essentially went vertical on fuel to some degree.
Yeah.
Is this an analog of that, trying to go more vertical on tech?
Well, it's leveraging our consumers where we want to go, taking advantage of technology. Scale matters in these large businesses with 200 million customers. For me, when we talk about digital, it's personal relationships that we build with our consumers. And when you get 200 million customers, it's hard to have a personal relationship outside of technology. So what it's allowing us to be able to better understand our consumers' needs, be able to better serve them, be able to identify what we can provide to help them through their journey. And it's one of these things that the more you go, the more you see the opportunity to. So, yeah, and since we're in a leadership position in the industry, I think it's natural that Delta's taking the lead in a lot of these technologies.
What's your latest guidance on R&D CapEx if you're doing all these things?
Well, we're investing about $4.5 billion a year between the planes, the technologies, the airport environment, and I expect that run rate to continue for the next several years.
As a percentage of sales or revenue, is it?
That's about 10%.
10%?
10%.
Wow, is that the highest it's ever been? Or
highest it's ever been, but the cool thing about it is we're also going to generate about 10% of our revenues in free cash flow this year.
The March quarter you said was good, right? Net costs down year on year, record revenue. How does that set you up for summer?
Well, the revenues look really good for the summer. You know, this is June. We're getting close to the summer peak already. I think we crossed one of our all-time record days just this past weekend. We had almost 700,000 customers we boarded. It's going to be a strong summer for us. We're looking at top-line growth of about 8%. It's been consistent all year long.
On a macro level, we've seen some are arguing softening in manufacturing employment. We've seen consumption, home prices maybe rising at a slower level. Will there be a hit to consumption and then in turn a hit to demand on travel? Do you see that anywhere down the line?
We don't see it in our numbers. You know, we're growing 8%. We're close to a $50 billion company. So when you're growing your top line 8% at that level, it's significant. A lot of our strength is in the domestic market. International, we certainly are seeing some caution signs. The Pacific has had some caution lights with respect to yield. Transatlantic as well. Latin is doing very well. Latin has rebounded well over the last year. So international, we're taking a more cautious view for the coming, the summer will be great, but the winter season looking ahead. But domestically, we're in really good shape. Corporate demand is up, close to 10%.
Finally, the requisite Boeing question. It doesn't apply to you like it applies to some others. And you've had good, kind words to say about Muhlenberg in recent weeks. But with the extension of the return to service window, how does that change the picture, if at all?
I don't think they've really given a return to service picture. So I know that the airlines keep sliding the return dates. I think it's probably going to be longer than anyone would like it to be. Not only with respect to the FAA and the certification issues on the airplane, I just think consumer confidence in the product's going to take a while to come back. So I think Boeing, as well as the airlines, will certainly be cautious as they bring that aircraft back to market. Certainly, that's what we would be.
And as a marketer, how would you best convince a consumer that you said you would get on it? How would you convince someone else to do so?
Well, I think you look to Boeing's history. Boeing is a great company. Their innovation creates magic for us. It's our lifeblood to what we do, and they are got all hands on deck to getting this solved. So I don't think this is a marketing issue. I think this is a time issue. It's just going to take time for people to see the confidence that the pilots, I think the employees of the airlines are going to need to regain as well. So whether it's training, whether it's time, there will be a pretty long induction phase here. And, I don't think anyone will want to be overly aggressive with that.
Pretty fascinating candor from Bastian talking about the MAX, guys. 60% of their fleet is Boeing. They fly 200 737s, but not the MAX. They actually spent months studying the MAX and ended up not ordering it. He talked about this last night at Code. Never got to the point where they had a discussion on MCAS, the technology that's in question with the MAX, guys. But as he said last night, what happened with the MAX is somewhat unthinkable, and that as an industry, we've been traumatized. So interesting to hear him talk about return to service perhaps taking a little bit longer than we thought.